Hello.
Hello.
God, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Robbo's Gobcast. Fuck it, I'm used to say wrestling because I've done 4 in the space of a week. Anyway, the Reading FC podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. Just a quick update reminder: we have done 4 WWE podcasts over the past week, and we will be back Monday to do it. Don't forget as well, we did release our Formula One podcast on Wednesday for everyone that's watching this. Yesterday, I can't remember. Does it work? I'm doing that. And don't forget as well, we are creating something a bit different. I'm in the works. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's in the works of doing something a little bit different, a little bit new, and then doing something like that. But as we are the anti-Reading FC podcast, I think we've officially become that now. I do find it hilarious. We are now we just carry on doing what we do best, and with that, with us doing what we do best, down below in the description is a link to all of our social media pages. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash that thumbs up on the YouTube channel, so more people will be able to see this video, and we will be doing a lot more. The topics of today's podcast are this: we will be doing a brief overview of the finance report that was published today through Company's House, where I've got some facts from a Twitter follower, not follower, but someone on Twitter called Kieran Maguire, Piece of Football, and he's done a really good breakdown of Thread that I'm going to go through and look at it and give us, and we're all going to say what we think Reading need to do. We also think that you need to look at it with a pinch of salt after what's happened over the summer as well.
I'm going to say now what I think we should do: fold the club and just start again.
Yeah,
full MK Dons style.
Yeah, but MK Dons never folded. It was Wimbledon.
Yeah,
they stole Wimbledon and then stole their name. Fuck MK Dons. We will then be discussing the Liam Moore incident that happened on Twitter, and not only will we be discussing that, we will be talking about racism in total. It's a tough topic for us to do, as we're 3 white men discussing an issue that's nothing to do with us, but we're going to try and put what we think should happen in that, and then we will be then going on to Cardiff, big game Friday night, 6:30 kickoff. So everyone knows, 6:30 kickoff on Sky. Where else would we be? Sky love us at the moment. And by the way, Ryan, you are right. The 3:00 last game kickoff has now been moved to Saturday at 12:00. It's now a Saturday kickoff. I think because they're doing it Sunday on the Sunday. I don't know. I think it's Saturday, maybe Sunday. Can't remember. But the last game of the season has been moved. Right. Before we get into anything.
So we've only got one Saturday 3:00 kickoff left now.
Wasn't that it though?
No, Norwich the week before.
Oh yeah, that might be. That'll still probably be changed. If they haven't been promoted by then, they will probably be on TV.
They'll literally be promoted this time in 4 days.
Do they have to win though, or do they just draw?
They beat Bournemouth, I think.
All right, okay.
So we want them to go up this weekend.
Yeah, because they'll be on the beach by the time they play us, so that'll be even better. So before we
they also beat Bournemouth.
Yeah, yeah, and that. Before we get into anything, how are you both?
Pretty good.
Happy that lockdown is easing?
Yes.
Where did you both go? Did you go to Primark or did you go pub?
Pub.
Did anyone see those queues to get into Primark, by the way?
Ridiculous.
There was one that was like weaving around about 3 streets. I think I saw in a town centre. It was just... But with easy lockdown, fans were allowed to be back in soon, even though it's 8,000 for the Caribou Cup final, I think, between City. By the way, City are playing right now as we're talking, and they're losing to Dortmund. They're currently going out of the Champions League because of away goals when we're recording this, so we don't know. Right, is it half time?
Yeah.
Okay. Finances. Well, okay, I'm going to let you both decide. Should we go into the Liam Moore incident first or finances?
Probably finance first.
Yeah. No, let's get into it then.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do a brief overview because I know someone hasn't read it.
I have.
I know you have. I know Ryan hasn't. I know we see bits and pieces around, but I know.
I've not really seen bits and pieces.
No. So,
I'm just going to quickly say, for anyone that watches / listens to this, Mark will send me a message at 2:00 in the afternoon on the day saying, read this, we're going to cover it tonight. Comes to like 8:00, like what's now 10 to 9 when we're recording.
Mm-hmm.
I've not read it.
That is a normal occurrence, by the way, because then he makes me read it and then does his point, what he thinks of it from there. But we did have a 20, was it half an hour phone call we had earlier discussing most of the things we were going to do?
The thing is, I think people would rather my genuine raw reaction. 35 minutes we were on the phone.
Was it 35 minutes? Why did I want to talk to you for that long? Jesus. So, right.
You wouldn't let me go. I was trying to drive on the M25.
Fuck off. You didn't stop fucking talking.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know sometimes either. So Reading's 2019-20 accounts published. So the brief overview of it, and then we'll get into a little bit more detail going through it. Reading have had an operating loss of 43 million. Wages of revenue is at 211%. Total accumulated loss we've done is 138 million. We have borrowed 87 million. Furlough income, we have gained 820,000. Player signings, we've got 16 million. And our average weekly wage is 17,460. Match day costs, and basically the match day costs we lost of 836,000, and that also, and the income of the rugby rent when we rented it to them went up, but we still lost 836,000 pound a week. Reading staff numbers are down by 50, a wage bill down by 8%, partly down to a lower of bonuses, as not all matches were played by the 30th of June 2020. But still more than double revenue. The highest paid director pay fell by over half to just 497,000. Reading's balance sheet overall negative loss over 138 million. The total creditors 112 million, although much of this is loans from Dye. Reading have borrowed nearly 38 million in a year from the owners. Could be a while till we cash back. Spent 15.8 million cash on transfers in a year and received 2.6 million pounds back. Reading creditors include 87 million in loans to the owner, 9.7 million outstanding instalments on transfer fees, and clubs have taken advantage of whoever's the finance person who does the country's finance, whoever, Rashid, whoever, tax-pay delay scheme to increase to an outstanding pay due to 6.4 million pound. The loan would have estimated to be around about 100 million, but the owner swapped the debt for shares in the club. I am not looking at what you just sent me just yet. Reading was charged 1.5 million for the stadium rented by club owner in 2019, but they earned 140,000 pounds for the China tour from the owner's other club, which is quite weird if you read it, because I'll read it here. The company, blah, 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 140 from Beijing Ren Football Club, the cost of the tour to the UK. Basically, they had a tour to the UK and they paid us. Anywho. Reading's operating losses since 2009 is a total of 226 million. Despite a season in the Premier League and subsequent parachute payments, player disposal and unusual asset sales have reduced their losses to just 122 million over the same period. Just amazing. This is what makes me laugh. This one here. Reading's wages, right? This is how much it's jumped, and I want to get both your opinions on this at the end. In 2007, our wages was at 76% to club revenue. In 2018, it went up to 197%. I think that's when the new owner come in as well. Wages in Championship were averaging 120% of revenue before Reading published their results, and it's now gone up to 127%. Oh dear. But before we get into all of this, and before we get both of your opinions on this, what this hasn't taken into account is the Mark Bowen release. Also hasn't taken into account of the 30-plus academy players that were released, and the players of Gunter, McCleary, Abita, Charlie Adams, all of those type of players that were released as well. And it hasn't taken into account the TV revenue that we would have gained from the start of this season to now. So we're looking at the loss to be quite reasonably less. The TV revenue last year that we gained was 8 million from TV revenue. I saw that somewhere, compared to the season before where it was 6 million, which I can't seem to find that photo, but I found it on there as well. Ryan, I know that we had a conversation about this earlier, and we know if Adam was on this podcast, it would become very, very, very negative. But we got two very beautiful people here that are not that negative. Ryan, what is your take on those published results? And oh fuck, he's gone.
We do.
What?
Two beautiful people.
Oh yeah, me and Matthew. That's true. Ryan, Ryan, stop it! You
joking, not a simp.
I was nearly about to call you the C word then. I was so close. I was like, no, we've got to try and keep it anyway. Oh, Jesus Christ. I've just seen what you sent me. I'm not even going to go into it. So, yes. So, what did you make of those results and all of the statistics? Ryan, I go to you first.
I'm not going to lie.
You switched off halfway through that, I get. I bet.
I wouldn't even say it was halfway through.
Okay. So with all the results and everything that's gone through, we spoke about.
No, I just go through what I said earlier. I don't think it really matters that much. I think people make it seem so much worse than it actually is. Like I said to you on the phone earlier, this is like, as soon as these documents come out, everybody turns into financial experts.
Mm-hmm. It is quite interesting.
In my opinion, there is nothing at all to worry about. Hence why we've seen De Jong pump millions into the club over the last couple of seasons. He does the right thing. Like, I think I'm right in saying, in terms of assets, the only thing at the club that is owned by the club is the players. I think the training ground is actually owned by Reading FC China.
Well, it's owned by Dai.
Yeah, it's owned by his Chinese company.
Mm.
Same as the ground, same as everything. The only assets we have is players. But it saved us before in terms of money last season for the Aluko loan to Beijing Ren.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried at all.
It's quite interesting. You say that he saved us. Matthew, I want to get your take on Mr. Dai. He has pumped in to the club, according to this, around about 87 million over the past year. We know that he had a very bad start of trying to get us promoted within the first season of throwing money at it. But does that just go to show that he's here for the long term? Or do you think that he's just trying to save face?
I think if you're going to put, like, I know he's obviously, like, I don't know. If you're going to put that much money into a club, I feel like you are staying around long term. I don't think if you're going to put that large amount, you're not going to stay around for short term.
I want to add a
Actually,
point to that as well.
Yeah, go on.
The other thing, people are saying about it and worrying because am I right in saying the Chinese club that he owns suffered back-to-back relegations and no longer exists as a team? And am I right in saying the KSV Rollater team that he owns, he pulled out of them as well? People saying he's known to do that, but the thing is, like you just said, he's pulled out of 2 other clubs there, and he's pumped in £87 million worth of shares here. So really, is he now making Reading his main focus? Because that's what it seems like to me.
It's interesting. I was going through this as well, and another talking point that we've just found is the Medaci Stadium is not owned by Reading.
No,
but we don't know who the owner of it is.
Let me go on Company House.
Yeah. Go and find it.
Because I done a load of checks one night. I done it on like Man United as well.
You did it. You woke me up. Was that the night where you stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning and started emailing people to come on the podcast?
No, that wasn't. No.
Oh, okay.
Different night.
Okay, that's fine. So, Matthew, I'm going to go to you again while Ryan does that.
Yeah.
What do Reading need to do over the summer? I've seen people say that we need to sell some of the highest earners at the club and start the rebuild again.
Or the club, go to the bottom division and work our way back up.
Well, no, I've seen people say that we have to now sell more Swift, Jow. Who was the other one? Elise. To put money in. So we can maybe build for the future, or get the monies back to normal. What do you think?
I think because like a lot of clubs do this, they spend a bit too much. I think we have 2 options. We either spend again, stick with what we've done, win the league, and get a huge amount of money in, or if we don't think we're capable of that, we then start to rebuild. I think those are our only 2 options. The only 2 options we have is we stick with what we're doing, spend more, and we have to go up. Otherwise, we're in the shit. Because if we go up, we're going to get a large sum of money in, and then we won't have to worry about it. Or we then go, I don't think we can go up, even if we buy a few more, because we're just not ready. And then we have to start again and possibly struggle for the next, go back to square one and struggle for a few years and till we get our shit together.
I've got to be honest, I prefer the first option.
Same, I prefer the first. I'd rather go all out and just try and go up.
All right. So the question. Okay, so question. Well, according to some reports, FIFA are trying to scrap financial fair play and use it as do some way different on it. Okay, then. Oh, and the other player that people are saying we need to sell is Puskas, because of the high wage and what he's on. If you were both the Reading owner, right? We're going to do 2 hypotheticals here, okay? Well, no, I know one of it because you just said about one of the hypotheticals saying if we go up, we don't need to worry about it, so we'll take that away. If we don't, it's looking more and more unlikely that we're going to finish in playoffs. After an amazing season we had and amazing season we've been going through, I would say that we're most likely not going to be able to get into the playoffs.
I just found something out. Generally, I don't know if this is common knowledge, but did you know that John Medaski's real name isn't John Medaski?
No, it's something really weird.
No, it's Robert.
That's it. I remember that. I don't know why
Robert
I knew that.
Medaski.
So he uses his middle name as his first name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what would you guys do in the summer? If money was coming in for Jal, Puskas, Elise, who are the other ones? More, any of those type of players, would you sell them and bring in, should I say, cheaper, long-term players that you could do? Or do we do a Brentford? which I don't like. I don't agree with personally. I don't like that way, but I understand why they do it. Or would you turn us into Brentford? Use the youth that we've got for money, and then start building the team. Anyone can answer this, by the way.
Right.
You answer it, Matt, because I'm doing this.
So I think, like, obviously, football is a sport, but it's also a business. You know, like a lot of people that are like buy into clubs, they don't do it because they love football. They do it because it's a very good way to make money. And if you do the right things, you can be very profitable from it. So I feel like if we're doing this from, if you want to say it, a business point of view, then we would go to the youth and sell, because with the youth that we have got, we can make a very good amount of money. Because look at the examples. I reckon we could get, as we both know, quite a lot for release, and even possibly for like McIntyre and Holmes, if they've proved themselves quite a bit this season. And I feel like with the situation we're in, I think we've been in the dumps for a good couple of years now. Well, more than a couple, since we come back down. And I feel like that we're going to have to, I think that's the only way that we're going to see a good future quick, rather than having to spend the next 5+ years rebuilding, which I can't be arsed for personally.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Same question to you.
I didn't hear the question. Sorry, I was looking at that.
No, that's fine. The question to him was: would you sell the players or do we do a Brentford, sell our youth, bring in a few players that we could profit from the future, or do we just do the Reading way and just let them expire their contract and just do nothing with it? Where do you think Reading are going? Do you think? Okay, they're two hypothetical and what you think are two different things. Do you actually think the owners will sell players in the summer? Because let's look at this now. We're not going to get playoffs unless we get a fucking miracle. And let's take the miracle out of it and let's talk about we don't. If we don't get playoffs, will the owners sell, or do you think that we're in for a very long summer again?
I don't think they would sell for the sake of selling. We've seen it before with Dive's Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
We've seen it before. What's the difference? Like, I mean, I think we're in a better position come the end of this season. I think that now ends the circuit of the Galway FFP. So we'll be in a much better position come the summer anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And as for would I sell our best players and do it the Brentford way? Please forgive me for being a little bit skeptical given our recruitment history.
Do you think that our recruitment history is changing?
Yes.
Okay then, Matthew, I'm going to ask you.
Who's the last 5 players that we've signed on
all players under 20
on permanent basis? Lauren.
Yeah.
Ajaria.
Yeah.
Araruna.
Yeah.
Who's the other 2?
I think. Sonia Luco.
No, he's fucking years ago.
Yeah, but he's the only one I can remember we signed. All right, so
both been since then.
Okay, Matthew, if you were the owner, no, you're not the owner. You have just been appointed sporting director of Reading. You get Valko Paunovic goes, right, tell me what type of players that we should be signing in the summer. Let's say we sell all those players or bring players in. We're not talking about price, we're talking about demographic. What type of players should Reading be going for in the summer? And where do you think it's going to go?
I think in the summer, I feel like we need to just sort of like, I don't know, it's tough. Like, do what we did this summer. Like, so, like as in like with who we bought in this summer and who we kept, with like the likes of who we already had and who we added to our squad. Like, we need a couple more quality players, and I would just, as I said, I would just sort of go for it. Like, I would just sort of say screw it and just go all out, because
Would you bring in experienced or youth?
experience and then youth, because I feel like, you know, I feel like we've got the youth now. We need the experience to go along with it, and then we're set. That's my opinion.
Okay then. This is a question for both of you. If you were both sporting director of Reading, you had one signing to make, not a player, a position. What would that position be?
A winger.
A winger.
A winger.
What type of winger? A Mate winger?
A fucking winger. That's it.
An out and out winger.
Yeah. Someone that's fucking. Where our right back could kick the ball as hard as he can to the left wing, and he'll just beat anyone for pace. Timbe.
Go Kenya.
There you go. There's your title.
I haven't even done any titles yet, so that might actually help. Right, let's move on from that, and let's get into a very dicey topic, shall we call it. Liam Moore was subject to a racist abuse over and during and after the Watford game. There was I wouldn't even call him a Reading fan. There was a person who decided to tweet out, should that word be captain of Reading FC. Do you know the old Thai owners have? Do they? Oh, he's just messaged me, by the way, saying the old Thai. Yeah, because doesn't someone related to them own Oxford? Anyway, the old Thai owners have shares in Oxford United. Anyway, who cares about? Oh, don't they own the car park? The outside.
Of the Medeski, yeah.
Yeah, where they're going to build flats and stuff. Anyway,
Royal Elm Park, or have you know?
Well, have they got
or is it
Elm
Royal
Park
Green? Or is it Royal Green Park?
It better be Royal Green Park. I don't want to put Elm Park because it'll just give him a more bigger head than what it already is. Old Mr. Redding thinks it's all about him, the twat. Anyway, back to
rent free.
Huh?
Rent free.
Yeah,
in your head. I think
he's not. And do you know what the first thing is? He's not anymore. Not even that much anymore. I just don't like him.
Man City got penalty, I think.
Are you watching it?
Yeah.
Let me know if it goes in.
Yeah, carry on. Serious.
Yeah, so Liam Moore comes in. This isn't the first time this season that a Reading player has been subject to a racist abuse. Jal got it on Instagram after a game. There's a few incidences, and we're not just talking about Reading as well. There was that Glenn Kamara incident against Sparta Prague that has the punishment is
stupid,
ridiculous on its own. You got Wilfried Zaha that keeps getting racist abuse by teenagers and kids. You've got majority of players that are coming out and speaking about it. Right, we're in a very much, we can't say that we've experienced what these guys are going through. Mm-hmm. We have no understanding what's going on with what they're going through. I'm going to get both your opinions, and we've got to be, I don't think careful, but we've got to try and remember that we are all white. We have nothing to do with this, but we can just point across what we think can happen. If anyone wants to come on this podcast and put their point across and talk about it, then DM me. I'm happy to have people on one-to-one where we will sit down and discuss it and go through it and do stuff like that and do a special episode on it. There's no worries on that whatsoever. So as we saw the other day, today, Glenn Kamara got racist abuse against Sparta Prague in the Europa League game. He got a 3-game ban for the red card that he suffered. Did they score?
Yeah.
Cool.
People almost saved it.
Oh, thank God. And the player got, the one that did the racist abuse towards Glenn Kamara got a 10-game ban, right? Let's put this into perspective, shall we? The 10-game ban compared to Luis Suarez getting banned for biting someone was 4 months. Kieran Trippier has just been banned for betting or talking to someone about a bet, and he's just been banned for 10 weeks from football. All participation in football.
Mhm.
So FIFA and the authorities are telling me that betting and biting is worse than racism. And also at the same time, in the La Liga fixture, in the cup game with Valencia, one of their players got suffered racial abuse by the opposite player, and they all walked off the pitch. They all come off the pitch. They all sorted it out, and then stand again.
Also, you just say about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll it back to a couple of years ago now.
Mhm.
Joey Barton got banned for 18 months from football for betting.
Mm.
And they were shit bets. They were really shit bets. Like, he was betting on himself to score the first goal.
Oh, God.
Why the fuck would he do that?
Yeah, we all know he needs to bet on if he's going to get a red card or not. Right, this is going to be a very tough subject for us to all discuss. But Matthew, I'm going to go to you first. What do you think of the racist abuse that players are getting, and what needs to change?
I think, like with the Liam Moore situation, if I go to that first, I saw a lot of people like saying, like, when people were reporting about it, there was a fan, and I thought, like I was saying, a lot of other people were, they're not fans. If you're going to racially abuse our players, you can't call yourself a fan.
Not just our player.
It doesn't matter if it's our players.
Yeah, not just our player, any player, but they're not fans. They're just, at the end of the day, like, you know, just saying that current situation, they claim to be a fan, but they're just trolls, and it's wrong. And the thing is we can put our opinions across, and we know what's right, and we know that that is wrong. However, convincing that to the narrow-minded imbeciles out there that think racial abuse is okay is a different argument, and we can't do that because it's the way, I'm guessing, people have been brought up, and that what they think is acceptable, when in the fact it's the complete opposite.
I'm gonna insert a warning for anybody listening whilst driving in the car with kids or people that don't like swearing. Just cover your ears for 3 seconds. Anyone who does that, you're just a massive cunt.
That's literally it. And I don't think there is a way, like, you can ban people, you can do this and that, which I think is totally right. And I think that if you do racially abuse players in any way, sense or form, I don't care if they're opposite players that piss you off or whatever, you should be banned from stadiums if you can't control yourself. I mean, but I just think there is so much of it going on, and it's sad that I just don't think they can keep up with it. And I just don't think it can. I feel like a lot of clubs will say they'll ban you. It's a lot of half-assed. It needs to be, you do it, we catch you, you're banned. It shouldn't be half-assing it. It shouldn't be them letting you off. It needs to be, if it's done, if it's seen, if it's noticed, you are banned and you're fined, and you shouldn't be allowed in the stadium ever again.
Yeah, I agree with that to a certain point. I think banning them is a good way, but I think going to fucking prison, there needs to be a point of this. Look, me and Ryan were talking on the phone earlier, and I've tweeted this as well, so this is nothing new to anyone. When they first started taking the knee during the games, I thought it was a great idea. I thought this is going to get more eyes on the world to see that there is an issue. Exactly what they do in the NFL and in the MLS and anywhere in America as well. When things with Colin Kaepernick first started doing it, all those years ago, it was nothing against America. It was against the injustice. Yes, the knee is a very good idea, but it gets to a point where where you're just now doing it for publicity. It's not working. There's no change that's going on. In my opinion,
it's not even publicity though. It's not even publicity. They're trying, like, it's just lost a lot of its meaning.
Well, it is a bit of publicity though, because they're doing it and they're getting more publicity for it. That I would class as publicity for it. The thing
is, I'd argue that and say now you're getting more publicity from teams turning around and saying, you know what, nothing's happening, so we're not doing it anymore.
Yeah, and that will happen more. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm going to ask you both. Over the past, since lockdown started, I don't know whether I've been living under a rock or been away from it, but it seems to have got a lot worse. Or more people calling them out, and we're getting more notice on what's going on. The question is, what is
the
doing
latter.
it? Is it more people calling them out, and we're noticing it more?
This is what I said to you on the phone. The Liam Moore one through over the weekend. I guarantee if you logged into his Instagram account, that's one of many. Same we've seen with Wilfred Zaha, another one we said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening all the time. And the thing is, like, okay, what I said to you earlier on the phone was, I think we're now living in a time where people want to be influencers, want to be talked about, and they don't care if it's positive or negative. It's like one of the really old sayings, there's no such thing as bad publicity. People don't care as long as they're being talked about. And that's just like, why would you rather be a racist than not be a cunt? Again, sorry for any children in the car, but why is that the norm? Why is it
okay then? So 3 white men are going to try and think how the way to solve this. This could be interesting. But I listened, and I would recommend anyone to go and listen to Lewis Hamilton. And I would recommend anyone to sit down, just listen to what he says. He makes things easy for everyone to understand. And I take his quotes and I try and do it as much as I can as well. And what he said is in life, you are not born a racist. You don't come out and go, I'm a racist. It's who you're around. It's the people you mix with. It's the education that you
Could
don't
you imagine
get.
if you did?
It's fucking weird, though. We're not getting into this discussion, by the way. So it's the discussion. Is it a factor now that schools have to do more to educate students? And the same with mental health as well. We had a discussion, me and Ryan, about that as well. Does schools need to do more to sort of cut out that generation of people that found the words and sayings acceptable back then, which we all know now are not acceptable? Cut that generation out and start fresh. Do we say fresh?
I'm going to go for a bit controversial here, and I don't think the schools can do anything more than they already do.
No.
In terms of racism. Like we said earlier, like it's a whole nother point. I think they could do so much more about mental health. But in terms of racism, like what more can they do?
Well, you've got teaching us about Black history. The only thing that I know in schools, and this is my time at school, was JFK, Jack the Ripper. What the fuck else did I do? I did it for fucking GCSE. Some other weird shit. There was nothing mentioned about Black history whatsoever. And when you learn about Black history and you learn about things, since I've left school, I've taken my time to try and understand it more. Because Matthew knows, one of my very best friends is Black.
Yeah.
And we have greatest time ever. But I've been there when he's been subject to racist, someone being racist towards him. I've been there. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've stood right next to him when it's happened as well. So, and then he's educated me as well. So I feel like there needs to be more education on that as well. Okay, then a question for everyone as well. What do we call it? Do fans need to do more to protect players? Like, if you see an incident,
yeah,
do fans need to do things? Because I know that there's a certain podcaster that I won't name their podcast because they're dead to me. That he said he knew who the person was and tweeted Thames Valley Police without calling them, which is just clout chasing. in my opinion. That's just going. It's like when when you watch a YouTube video and someone goes, "If you like this video and we hit 300 likes, we will give away this. La, 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 la. We will give you an iPhone to do in a giveaway." When you get people like that, that's exactly what that was. That was not good behavior in doing it. What do fans need to do more? And also at the same time, what does football need to do?
Again, this sounds very bad coming from me the way it is, but I don't think the fans need to do any more. But I'm saying this presuming, like, from my point of view, if I saw somebody being racist at football, I'd say something. That's me. But I know I'm not everybody would be that, but that's a start. If you see something like that, report it. And the thing is, like I said before, you can guarantee you go on to any black player's social media and there will be so many comments like that.
Yeah.
And we're seeing, to be fair, in all fairness, we're seeing more and more now, if it's in the Instagram comment section, people are replying to that. But it does also work both ways, because I think, going back to what I said before, is people that want attention. And like I said, any publicity is good publicity, whatever. It's just narrow-mindedness. People who are just thick as pig shit.
Yeah. I think we can all agree on that. But as I said, on Instagram and on our Twitter page, we have changed our logo profile picture to Kick It Out for 2 weeks in our support for Liam Moore going forward. We have reached out to Thames Valley Police to get a policeman to come on and explain to us what they have to go through to find someone that has been that does this, and what they think needs to happen. I've heard nothing back from them. I've heard nothing back from Kick It Out as well. I've also asked them as well, nothing. But if anyone does know anyone that could explain things to us and give our audience or the people who listen to us a little bit more knowledge on this current situation, it's very difficult, isn't it, for us to talk about this, because we don't experience any of this. We go by what we see, and what we see is utterly disgraceful. And if you're one of those people that sit at home and go, haha, that was quite funny, please don't watch us. Please don't watch our podcast. All right. We may not have that much viewers listening or watching anyway, but that type of person I don't want anywhere. And if you did it in front of me, I probably would smack you in the face as well. So Matthew knows my temper I have at football. So if you did it while Reading were losing as well, I probably would get in trouble. So yeah. So shall we get on to the Cardiff game that's coming up Friday night? All right, I'll do that again. I want a little bit more energy from both.
Yes.
Yes.
Hell fucking yeah.
That's better. Thank you. Right, let's go through head-to-head history. Cardiff versus Reading. Reading have 27 times. They have drawn 23 and lost 23. The previous 5 fixtures was the first of the 5 was in the 18th of August 2019 when we beat them 3-0. I think that was a George Puskas 2, wasn't it? I think in that game. The 25th of January in the FA Cup 2020, we drew 1-1. In the 31st of January 2020, excuse me, we drew 1-1. The 4th of February 2020, we drew 3-3 in the FA Cup, which went to penalties, which we beat them on. And then the 26th of September 20 was the first goal we conceded in the league with Paunovic in charge when we beat them 2-1. Mick McCarthy is current Cardiff City manager after they sacked was it Neil Warnock? No, Neil Harris. Neil Harris. And Reading's his current form for them is they play 15, won 5, lost 9. I mean, and drawn one, I think. I deleted half of that off. He has been the manager since the 22nd of January. Well, my facts are wrong because whoever told me that facts are just wrong. Anyway, ignore what I just said. He's played 17 times. No, that's right, what I said before. Just ignore me. Mick McCarthy's record for Cardiff so far this season.
Absolute manic.
I know. Played 17, won 8, drawn 6, lost 3. He has a win percentage of 47.06%. Current predictions. Let's have a guess. No one got any points, by the way. So Matthew. Yeah.
I've just seen another one that's reminded me. You know, you said about that Slavia Prague player getting a 10-game ban for raiding. Do you remember when Rio Ferdinand got banned for 8 months for missing a test?
Yeah, wasn't it a drugs test?
Yeah. And the Ajax keeper as well, currently suspended.
Yeah, that on the mar.
Yeah.
And didn't John Terry didn't get into trouble at all for what he said to Anton Ferdinand either, did he?
I'm not sure. However, talking about that, read Neil Warnock's book. He talks about it. It's quite interesting.
Wasn't he the QPR manager then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what he says in the book is at the time nobody realised what had happened. It wasn't until
it was a fan that was watching it, wasn't it? On telly that reported it.
It was Sky.
Oh, was it Sky that spotted it?
Yeah, they saw it on Sky, and
I need to watch it. I need to do Neil Warnock's book, but I just got anger levels beyond belief for him. But I watched him on Gillette Soccer Saturday, and he's quite. When he was on there, he was quite funny. So Matthew is currently leading the predictions by 1 point. There is 2 games left in the current predictions before we finish off the season, where the predictions go as this: Matthew has predicted us to win 2-1. Ryan has predicted us to win 3-1. Adam has gone for a 2-2 draw. And I have gone for a 2-0 win. We are at home going into it. How confident are you going into this game? After the, should I say, slight battering? Maybe slight of just Sarr himself, Emilio Sarr, just fucking wrecking us a new one. How confident are you both going into this game?
I'm pretty confident. I feel like, you know, Sarr, he's a class above the rest. He shouldn't really be in this league, in my opinion. I feel like he's a Premier League winger, and I feel like the Cardiff. I feel like we lost. Not lost. We didn't have concentration for 15 minutes, and they punished us. You know, like that's not normal for us. And I feel like against Cardiff, we can definitely pick up some points. I think with the team that Panovic has made now, we're a team that if we do lose one, it doesn't ruin us for the next month. We'll bounce back. We'll bounce right back from it. So I'm full of confidence.
Ryan.
Yeah, I agree exactly with what he said there.
So Reading are currently in the last 6 fixtures 17th in the form table, where we've played 6, won 1, drawn 3, lost 2 with a -1. Cardiff are 21st, where they have won 1, drawn 2, lost 3, the same as us, but they have a much worse goal difference. If we go the past 10 fixtures, Reading sit 10th in that, played 10, won 4, drawn 3, lost 3, with a +3 goal difference, and Cardiff sit 13th with where the fuck I've lost them. There they are. Played 10, won 3. Excuse me. Drawn 4, lost 3 with a -1 goal difference. If we go with their way from home, in the previous, they've played 6 games away from home. I don't think that's right. Just saying. But I think they're going to go with previous 6. Yeah. The last 6 away games, Cardiff are 5th. Where they've played 6, won 3, drawn 2, lost 1. Reading, for home form, are 10th. Played 6, won 3, drawn 1, lost 2. Where's this game going to be won and lost, guys? Is it going to be, we know that goals wins games. Is it going to come down, is this going to be a tactical battle between a veteran of Mick McCarthy, or is it going to come down to Reading probably playing one of their best games that they need to play? And yes, I am farting.
Nice.
Yeah, I just think if we play well, we'll have too much for them.
Yeah.
So where's this game going to be won and lost? Where?
Foden just scored.
I might want City to win the Champions League. Just saying. Just because. How are Liverpool getting on anyway? So who's going to be the key player for Reading in this game? Is João going to come back and start? Is Puskas going to carry on and stay in the team? Is Mate going to be there? Is Elise going to be in it? Where do you think? Who is Estevez going to? No. Is Ho's going to stay right back? Is Yedon going to come in?
Our most important player will be Renamotor.
Huh?
Our most important player will be Renamotor.
Yeah. Is João going to come back in?
Yeah, I think so.
Who's going to come in for?
Puskas.
I reckon Puskas straight up.
Am I the only one who would drop Mate? Most probably.
I wouldn't drop Mate. I feel like he's more influential than Mike. Like, I think Puskas is a good player, but I feel like he just gets goals. And I feel like Cardiff won't be able to handle Mate and João together.
To be fair, Cardiff can never handle Mate. I think he scored the most he ever does against Cardiff. I don't know his record he has against Cardiff. I'm going to see if I could Google it in that time.
I'll do it.
You're going to Google it. Go and Google it.
Yeah.
Go and find out.
We've got a tough line of games after this. I think we need to win this for confidence. Like we need to win this to go in for. I know we may not win against the likes of Norwich and Swansea, but I feel like winning this will give us a better chance.
I think Swansea a little bit easier now. They've been a really bad form.
But Norwich will be.
Yeah, but they're picking it up again.
Oh, are they picking it up again now? Fuckers. So we've got Cardiff, Luton, Swansea, Norwich, Huddersfield, and then that's the end of the season. Oh, Jesus, we've only got 5 games left. And then we've got to do our award show. Okay, I'm going to say it now. I want you guys, before we end, it was discussed by Reading, Twitter and Instagram as well, where they were talking about player of the season. I want you guys to tell me now top 3 players, the top 3 players you say have been most influential for Reading this season. Go.
Lauren, João and Ajaria.
Lauren, João, Renamotor.
He was my 4th. If you gave me 4, I would have said Renamotor as well.
It's interesting. None of you said Elise.
Oh yeah. I think people are more impressed. He's a good player, but I think people are more impressed with him because of his age. That's a good thing. I'm not saying that. I'm not putting that.
Can I also just say as well? I might have tweeted last season that Elise is better than Jude Bellingham. I would like to say is I would like to apologise for that tweet. I would like to rescind that tweet and say that I was a dumbass at the time. He scored an absolute worldie in the Champions League quarterfinals against Man City.
Where'd you find the goal?
Go on Twitter and go on BT Sport and you'll see it. They always upload it on there, the goals. And I would like to say that Jude Bellingham is about light years ahead of Elise at this moment.
And he's 17.
Yes, that scares me. You imagine what he could do for England. I'm just saying.
I'll review it live.
He legally can't buy GTA 5.
He also can't buy Red Dead Redemption 2.
He's too young for Call of Duty.
That's ridiculous.
That was a good goal. How has he done that? Fair enough. Right.
And the crowd of people as well. So yeah. So Ryan, did you find out?
No.
All right. There we go. Done then. Thank you guys ever so much for joining us for this episode of the Robbo's Gobcast Reading FC podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. As well, we've only got 4 games left of the season. Before the end, and then we start going on to the summer, where I think we will be condensing it down to once a week over the summer. Maybe not have one, maybe have one to see how everything goes. We will be doing games. We will be doing all different. Fucking hell, I've got burps, I've got farts, I've got fucking everything going on over here. We will be doing different things throughout the summer like we did last season as well. We've also got the Euros as well, so we might be doing a Euros podcast. Oh, fucking no. We might do something like that. I know Adam likes to talk a bit about England and Euros, so we might do something with him on that. We don't know what we'll do, but we'll see how it goes. We've also created another one that I'm hoping will be done soonish. It's not going to be. I'm very excited for this one, but from the most hated Reading FC podcast, what I'd like to say is thank you guys ever so much for joining us. We will see you guys next week. Because it's a Friday game, you most probably see Adam and David live on Instagram on Friday straight after the game. So go check that out. I know that Billy, who we all know, and Charlie as well, has all been on the Instagram live to discuss it as well. Hopefully, we will get more of you guys on there as well to discuss it with the both of them. But with all love and all care, and with everything in the world, fuck Elm Park Royals. Have a lovely evening. Bye. I haven't even got the mouse yet. Bye. By the way, what's the score before I go?
2-1.
2-1.
Yes. Come on, City. Bye.
I'm going to shit myself. I need to go.
To be fair, I'm really close to as well.
I'm going to shit myself. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Bye.
Oh.
I've started now. You can fuck off now. There you go.
It's still recording.
No. Bye. Why is it still recording?